Hey guys, this is Haunt Prowler, and today what I have to unbox and set up for you guys today is the new for 2024 Home Depot Animatronic Chucky doll. Now this is one that I've been very excited to come in the mail for a ton of reasons. For one, Chucky's always been my favorite horror character of all time, always has been. The first two Child's Play movies will forever be my favorite movies of all time. So when I heard that we were getting a servo animatronic Chucky this year, I knew I had to get my hands on him.
No matter what!
Now I'm going to save my overall thoughts for him for after he's all set up and demoed, because my opinions could change once I see him in person. I do have my pros and I do have my cons, and I will go into detail about that after I get him out of the box. But overall, I'm very excited for this guy, and I'm hoping he's going to be great. So without further ado, let's unbox Chucky. Alright, first impressions. Going in, I believe, yeah, this is the top of the box, because Home Depot props always come with the bases upside down. So the first thing we can pull out is his base right here, which it's a lot bigger than I was expecting. I know this guy is going to be huge. He's a lot bigger than Chucky is supposed to be canonically, which I don't mind at all. I think that's really awesome. Here we have both of his legs with the foams already attached. Over here we have his knife hand, which is, again, a lot bigger than I was expecting. This guy's going to be huge, but that looks great. The knife is a lot bigger than I thought. That's awesome. Here we have his clothes with the motion sensor, the sweater, and the overalls. Alright, I can go ahead and take out his head, which, seeing it looks a lot bigger in person than I was expecting. This thing is huge, dude! Oh my gosh, that was way bigger than I was expecting. Let's get it out the plastic here. Now, the face is one of my favorite parts, one of my least favorite parts. I'll get into that later. Oh, but honestly, you know what? That's a lot better than I thought it would be. That is awesome. It is that same silicone material as Lethal Lily, I believe Captain Cuts this year too. Oh, that is such a fantastic head. Here we have both of his shoes, which do not have the good guy imprints on the bottom, but they still look fantastic either way. Over here we have his other hand, just a stationary hand, not holding anything. Here we have the adapter in the box. And here we have one of the parts I was the most curious about, which is his mechanism, which, oh my goodness, man. That is a crazy mechanism, you know, because they had to fit all of this inside such a small body. The head turn and the knife movement are connected to the same motor. I knew some people were curious about that. And the head turn side to side is on a separate motor. And then he's got the main motor inside right there, which moves his entire body. And that is it. So, without further ado, let's get Chucky put together. Alright, so first thing you want to start is with obviously the base. You want to put that on the floor. And then you want to go ahead and put his shoes over both of the leg poles, because you won't be able to get them on once you have your legs on. And you want to make sure that you line up the holes on the bottom of the shoes with the little pegs on the base. That way the shoes don't swivel around and they already look like they're in a good place. Next up, you want to take both of his leg poles, go ahead and lock those in. You might have to lift up the shoe in the back a little bit, but overall those should fit in pretty easy. You know, simple SVI setup. Just like that, both click into place, very nice. Next, you want to go ahead and grab your clothes, take them out the bag, and I'm not sure if these are one piece with the overalls connected to the sweater already. That is. Oh, that's awesome. So that way the sweater's not going to come out. They're already one piece, but you want to find the legs on the overalls and go ahead and slide those over the leg poles. And that's very interesting. On the back, he's got a zipper. Yeah, that goes all the way down. Normally, I'm just used to the Velcro to put the clothes together, but no, that's very nice. It's got a zipper, and the clothing is very high quality. I have not felt this on an animatronic in, I don't think, ever. This is a very nice, it's not a material I've seen before, but it feels very nice, and it's very high quality. Alright, next you want to grab this big mechanism piece, and oh, that's his motion sensor wire. I thought a wire was off. But you want to go ahead and put that on both legs and snap those in, same as the legs. And done, just like that. And he's already a lot taller than I was expecting, but you know what? That's awesome. Up next, I'm going to go ahead and already put the head on, just so it's a little easier to get the arms on with the clothes, because once the arms are on, then the clothes can't really come down. Now you can see everything. So he's got a little wire coming from the back of his head, and you just want to plug that into the wire right there. Just like that, alright. Next, we're going to go ahead and put his arms through the sleeves of the sweater, and then connect those arms onto the mechanism. Very simple. And then on both sleeves, you want to pull up the sleeve all the way up to the wrist, and there should be a Velcro that matches. That way the sleeve won't fall down. Also, before I go ahead and pull the sweater all the way up, there is a wire inside the sweater and a wire coming from his mechanism. You want to plug those together. That gives power to the motion sensor right here. There we go. Now you just want to pull up his sweater all the way and zip it up in the back. And then you want to take his two little overall straps, and they have a Velcro on the shoulder, and I believe there should be a Velcro right here. Yep. And those just go on like that. So I'll do the same for the other side. Make sure you cross the back in an X pattern so it looks accurate. And there we go. His setup is done. All right, his setup is done. I'm going to plug him in, and let's get to the demo.
Go ahead and shoot. I'll be back. I always come back. As a doll, I'm infamous. I'm one of the most notorious slashers in history, and I don't want to give that up. I am Chucky, the killer doll, and I see it. I have had it. That's it. There is a limit to how much I can take.
Alright, so that was the unboxing and demo of Chucky, and now I'm going to get onto my thoughts and opinions, my pros and cons. So overall, it was worth, staying up, I think, for over 10 hours for him. This guy did not stock at the time he was supposed to. He did not stock with all the other Home Depot items that went up at, I believe, 6 in the morning, my time. He was supposed to come out then. He did not. He took another 10 hours to come out, I believe. He went up for me at somewhere around 3:30. I was fast asleep. If my friend did not call me and tell me that he was in stock, I would not have this Chucky here with me today. So I'm very thankful for my friend calling me and waking me up, because I did fall asleep. I couldn't stay up anymore. I got him when there was about 200 left. I think 400 stocked in total, and he was gone in like 2 minutes, which is insane. I think that's the fastest a Halloween Animatronic has ever went out of stock. It is just insane. Now this guy, he did ship fairly fast. Originally it did say he was supposed to come in like August, but we're still in July right now, so that was wrong. He did come earlier, which I do appreciate. So this guy's already going on eBay for about like $700, which is crazy, which means the scalpers did get to him, unfortunately. If you really want him and could not get him on the drop day, I'm really sorry, but please don't feed into the scalpers. This guy will be in stores at your Home Depot, and he will be restocking online throughout the season, so please don't pay any more than you need to. Just get him for the nice $200 that he already is, which I could say easily he is worth $200 completely. This is one of the best value props I've ever seen for the licensing, for all that movement you're getting, for the character. It's perfect. $200, I would not have it any other price. Now onto my thoughts. I'm going to start off with the pros with him. Now he is a lot bigger than I thought he would be. I do have a more accurately sized Chucky doll. Now Chucky in the films, I'm going to be a nerd here because I absolutely love Chucky. Chucky in the films is canonically around 2.5 feet tall, while this Chucky here is a whole foot above that. This is my more accurately sized Chucky. This is one of the roaming ones that Spencer's has sold for a few years now. And this is the one I've been stuck with for a while. This was the closest thing we got to an actually good Chucky Animatronic until, today. But right off the bat, you can see how much bigger this guy is than he's meant to be. This one right here is right at, I'd say 2 feet 4 inches, 2 feet 5 inches, which is how big Chucky is in the movies. Total height is around 3'7", which I believe is bigger than what was on the box. I believe the box has like 3 feet 5 inches, so he is bigger than I thought. But even the proportions too, just for that height, like you can see how much bigger the head is, the hands are, the body. It is crazy how big this guy is. Now the size, it's not a complaint for me. The size is a pro because this guy, he's very intimidating at the size he is. I always hear people say, "Oh, Chucky's not that scary. You could just kick him around." This guy, this is like a child height. This is a doll. This is a child. So. He's a lot more intimidating at this height. The accuracy is pretty on point. I'd say the accuracy is mainly with the shoes. I'm not sure if they're in frame, but the shoes, the The outfit, the sweater, it's fantastic. He's just got a regular knife, you know, he has used plenty of knives over the year. And the hands, those are overall great. Where my cons start to come in is when we get to the face and the hair. Overall, the hair is not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. It is kind of hard to, you know, pose and get to look like Chucky's hair. And I do believe, like, the color is a little off. And I know I'm being really picky with this thing, but, like, I will never be picky with regular Halloween characters than I am with licensed characters. Because you have an exact model to base it off of. So any inaccuracy is going to stick out like a sore thumb. And we have props that has happened to as examples. So when it's bad, you know it's bad. You notice it right away. Now, where my biggest flaws come in is when we get to the face and the head overall. My biggest con with him is I don't know what Chucky he is trying to be. He's definitely not any of the first 3 movie Chuckies. Definitely not Stitch-Face Chucky. That's the most obvious. I thought he was trying to be the Chucky from the new series that's been coming out, since that's the most recent thing. That's what they would try to do, but putting pictures side by side, he doesn't really look like the Chucky in the series. The closest thing I think this guy is trying to be is the Chucky from both Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky. That is the most accurate Chucky I believe this prop is trying to portray. And even then, he's not that accurate to Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky if we put images of them side by side. I feel like the biggest throw off for me is the teeth, which they look great on the prop. I just can't find any image of Chucky from any of the movies where his teeth really, you know, look like that. They might be too bright or too big, I'm not sure, but overall it's not entirely accurate with the teeth. Now, one pro I will give him is I absolutely love how they gave him all the good guy doll eyebrows, the eyelashes, the freckles. It looks perfect. I'm so happy they did that. It looks absolutely great on his face. And see, now his hair is acting up. Now it wants to go in front of his face. Another issue I have is more with the animatronic itself, is how with this head he's looking down at the floor, which, you know, for most animatronics wouldn't be an issue, but it is an issue when this guy is shorter than the average person. Most people are just going to have the base flat on the ground, which means the animatronic should be looking up at people, but instead he's kind of looking at the floor when you have him down. So for this review, I have him up higher on a higher surface. And up here, he looks great because, you know, he's taller than the average person now, so he kind of looks down on people as he talks, which it looks fantastic like this, but I'm sure most people don't want to display him higher up than he needs to be. Another issue I have with him is the audio, and that's 2 aspects. One, it's not loud enough. It's very quiet, and you can still hear the motors kind of overpower the audio when he's on, which no prop should be. They should be louder than the motors when you turn the volume up. So he's very quiet when you turn the volume all the way up. And my second issue with the audio is that he doesn't have enough phrases. Chucky is a character with, like, tons of movies. There's tons of phrases. He's got a ton of iconic quotes to pick from, and they only have 3, 2 of which are from the same movie. And the phrases themselves are very short when you only have 3 phrases for all this. With a character with all this technology and animation, I feel like you should absolutely load him to the max with phrases, so that you can get your full potential with all that animation in him. And for the 3 phrases that they did choose for him, I like them. You know, they fit. They're kind of, I guess you could call it fourth wall breaks, where he's like, I'm Chucky, I'm the killer doll from Seed of Chucky, when he has that realization that he likes being in his body. But overall, I just really wish they would have added more iconic quotes, more phrases, so that you can have this guy saying like 10 things and use all that animation up in him. Now, I did used to have a lot more cons with this guy, but honestly, after seeing him in person, some of them just kind of, you know, faded out of my mind. And I think this, for the money you pay and for the character you get, this is such a great buy. And I highly recommend getting him if you even see the chance to pick him up at your Home Depot. Even if you're just a fan of the character and you don't really collect animatronics, this is still, it's a bang for your buck. It's 100% worth the money. And I'm so glad that we finally got something like this. This is something that I've been wanting for years now, because for years we've just been getting the ones on the roaming bases that kind of roam around. I've never been the greatest fan of them, but, you know, it's all we had for a while until this guy came along, and I think he's perfect. Easily my favorite animatronic of the year, and potentially my favorite animatronic of all time. He is just that good. And at the end of the day, I'm very happy to have a full animatronic life-size Chucky in my collection now for years to keep. And overall, that's all I have to say about the new for 2024 Chucky Animatronic from Home Depot. If you like my content and want to see more animatronic videos related to this, please consider subscribing. And with that being said, this is Haunt Prowler, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.